Resuming debate, the honourable member for St. John South, Mount Pearl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of Bill C-555, an act respecting the Marine Mammal Regulation Seal Fishery Observation License. But, Mr. Speaker, this bill, like so much other lip service that this Conservative government pays to the East Coast seal hunt, is a charade. A charade to make it appear that this government is actually doing something for the hunt, for sealing. A sham to make it appear that this government is defending the seal hunt. An illusion, Mr. Speaker, to make it appear that this government is a champion of the seal hunt. All this is, Mr. Speaker, all this bill amounts to is conservative sleight of hand. Bill C-555 would increase the distance that an unofficial observer, in other words, anyone who's not there to hunt, a seal protester, for example, must keep from the sealers. Right now, it's against the law for an unofficial observer to come within a half nautical mile of the hunt. This bill, Bill C-555, would increase that buffer zone to a full nautical mile, so from a half a nautical mile to a full nautical mile. But, Mr. Speaker, the half-mile buffer that's there now is not enforced. So, increasing the distance to a full nautical mile is lip service. That's what I mean by lip service. It basically means nothing. It's a good concept, Mr. Speaker, and it's one that my party supports. How could we not? It's about safety, in theory, anyway. But for all intents and purposes, Mr. Speaker, it means nothing. Sealers on the ground in my province, Newfoundland and Labrador, say it's a good idea, but they don't see how it will change anything. Frank Pinhorn, Executive Director of the Canadian Sealers Association, says it's frustrating because, Mr. Speaker, as it stands, regulations are not enforced with the half nautical mile zone. And now the Conservative government is going to increase the buffer zone to a full mile. Who are they trying to fool, Mr. Speaker? Nobody on this side of the House, nobody back home in Newfoundland and Labrador. They're not fooling us, Mr. Speaker. So what's the purpose of this bill? There is no purpose, Mr. Speaker. It's a nuisance bill. The Conservatives are trying to divide the New Democratic caucus on the seal hunt, only there is no divide, Mr. Speaker. New Democrats fully support a humane and sustainable hunt. It is our policy, period. End of discussion. The 1985 report of the Royal Commission on Seals and Sealing in Canada quoted a sealer/fisherman, they are one and the same, Mr. Speaker, who described himself back then 29 years ago as an endangered species. Let me quote that fisherman sealer, Mr. Speaker. Quote, "I am endangered, but I still fight back. I will survive. I will not let animal rights become more important than human rights. I will not let people give souls to animals while they rob me of my human dignity and right to earn a livelihood." Mr. Speaker, today's sealer/fisherman is more endangered than ever. Outport Newfoundland and Labrador is more endangered than ever. The commercial fisheries, Mr. Speaker, are more endangered than ever. Sealers and fishermen are one and the same, Mr. Speaker. Sealers are fishermen. Fishermen, Mr. Speaker, are sealers. Their livelihoods are in jeopardy. Their numbers dwindle every year. Now, according to the news back home this week, Mr. Speaker, the Fishermen's Union is raising red flags about the possibility of significant cuts to the total allowable catch for the northern shrimp fishery. Now, shrimp, Mr. Speaker, has been one of the most lucrative fisheries since the collapse of the ground fish stocks, such as cod, in the early 1990s. Just today, Mr. Speaker, the Atlantic Institute for Market Studies released a report on the East Coast fishery, a report that slams the Conservative government for failing to reform fisheries management 2 decades after the cod moratorium. The northern cod fishery, Mr. Speaker, was shut down in 1992, 22 years ago, and there's still no recovery plan. How shocking is that, Mr. Speaker? Sealers are fishermen. They are one and the same. And what does this Conservative government have to offer? It increases the buffer zone for seal hunt observers to 1 nautical mile from a half nautical mile. A charade, Mr. Speaker, a sham, an illusion, a joke. I attended Seal Day here on the Hill back in February, Mr. Speaker, a day when government reaffirms its support of the seal hunt. But the proof of this government's commitment to the seal hunt is not in the pate, Mr. Speaker. It is in the policy. It is in the action. The East Coast seal hunt has seen the biggest collapse of seal markets in its history under this conservative government, Mr. Speaker. The biggest market collapse in the history of the seal hunt. That is a fact. Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Taiwan, the European Union, and all of its member countries have all banned the importation of Canadian seal products, while this government has sat idly by touting its undying support. And what happened to China and to the markets there that this conservative government was poised to tap into, Mr. Speaker? What happened to those markets? Silence, Mr. Speaker. Silence. The conservative government is on the verge of a free trade deal with the European Union. But if this government was so solidly behind the seal hunt, like it says it is, why didn't it make the seal ban a make-it-or-break issue during those trade talks? Instead, the conservative government agreed to have the EU ban decided by the World Trade Organization, which last fall upheld the ban. The conservative government is appealing to WTO's decision, but again, Mr. Speaker, if this government was serious, it would have made the EU ban a make-or-break consideration in trade talks. It did not. Instead, we see empty action, nuisance bills like this one, to increase the buffer zone around the hunt from a half a nautical mile to a full nautical mile, when they can't even enforce the half nautical mile zone, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the sealer today is as endangered as the fisherman. They are one and the same. There is no vision for the fishery or the seal hunt, no blueprint for rebirth. The conservative government's latest move regarding the Newfoundland and Labrador fishery is to eliminate minimum processing requirements as part of the EU trade deal. Now, the trade deal is a good one. The elimination of seafood tariffs is a fabulous thing. It's being lauded in all quarters of the fishery. But the question must be asked, what will be the impact on our fisheries, on our processing sector, of the lifting of those minimum processing requirements? The conservative government doesn't give up $280 million in compensation for nothing, Mr. Speaker, especially when they've done nothing for our fisheries for decades, other than to cut the guts out of science, cut the guts out of fisheries management, and cut the guts out of enforcement. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, sealers and fishermen are one and the same. As I mentioned before, Mr. Speaker, we support this bill for what this bill is worth. But it doesn't address the underlying problems of our seal hunt or of our fisheries. Make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, the fight is vicious in us yet. The seal hunt is a part of Newfoundland and Labrador culture. It's woven in our history. It is who we are. More so than any other slight, Mr. Speaker, Newfie on down. Newfoundlanders and Labradorians take any criticism of the seal hunt as a direct personal attack, not just against us, who we are as a people, but against our forefathers and our very outpoured soul. To attack the seal hunt, Mr. Speaker, is to attack Newfoundland and Labrador. To attack the seal hunt is to poke the bear that is the fighting Newfoundlander. But to try to pull off a charade, a sham, an illusion that this government is a defender of the hunt when it is not, must also be pointed out. So increase the buffer zone around the hunt. Fill your boots, Mr. Speaker. Stand in this House and blow and sputter about all you're doing in defense of the hunt. But the proof is in the action. And, Mr. Speaker, there is none.
Resuming debate.